Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about a point that gets missed by a lot of people, and it's that a lot of people out there think that they train hard. Okay? They think that they train hard and they just haven't found whatever the magic secret is. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Ideal training and good training just helps you get gains a little bit faster, and it does so while keeping injury rates very, very low. That's what it actually does. Okay? And I want to make that very, very clear. Anyone who is actually training really hard is going to get jacked and strong. If the other factors are in place in their life, they're going to get jacked and strong. They're just going to have a much higher chance of getting hurt if they have no idea what they're doing. And maybe they're not going to get optimal results. They're not going to get as strong as they could. They might stall at a 450 deadlift instead of reaching a 500 or a 550, which they would have got with better programming. But let's be realistic here. If you train really hard, you're going to get to a 450 deadlift. You're going to get to a 365 squat. You're going to get to a 250 plus pause bench. And you're going to be reasonably big, even if you don't know how to train. If you're training really hard and you're getting enough food and enough sleep, it will happen. People who are like, well, it didn't work for me. Well, you didn't train that hard. And I've seen it many times. Guys think that they are training hard, and they really aren't. Because they ran a minimalist program and didn't do any accessory work, and the weights felt a little heavy. Or they came in and they do, again, as I've said before discussing this, they do a bunch of curls to failure. Well, that's not training hard. The rest of it comes down to food and sleep, and I'll talk about in a minute what I mean by training hard. Food and sleep. Now, does it mean you're going to be really lean? No. I said jacked and strong. You can always diet later. Always ask guys who are doing this stuff, are you eating enough to gain weight? How quickly are you gaining weight? Because if you tell me that you can't eat enough to gain weight, I don't believe you. How do I know this? Because I've taken guys who were at a certain body weight and helped them put on 20 pounds. It's just not that hard. No, you're trying to stay really lean while gaining weight. That's what's not working. Right? You're probably eating really nutrient-dense foods that have a lot of food volume relative to their calories. You're eating chicken and brown rice and broccoli, and then wondering why you struggle to eat more than 3,000 calories. Well, let's be honest. If you're training hard, the majority of you out there, if you're training really hard, your maintenance calories are going to go above 3,000. Or at least if you're trying to gain weight, because meat and everything goes up. Yeah, your calories are going to go way up. They're going to go way up. I have skinny, underweight kids who need over 3,000 calories to gain weight. Guys who aren't even big yet. Right? Guys who I've coached. I don't mean like skinny as in they're 180 pounds either. That's my definition of skinny. I mean truly skinny. Underweight. But they're training hard, and therefore they struggle to eat enough. But they are still eating a lot of clean foods. And that's one reason some people struggle to gain weight. If you guys don't believe me, say, no, it's just impossible to eat enough. Really? Because I'm going to say 50 million morbidly obese Americans proves you wrong. Let me ask you a question. You generally ascribe being morbidly obese with being lazy. That's what people ascribe it to, right? Yeah, of course you do. So therefore, it doesn't match most people's paradigm to say someone who's 100 pounds overweight has a high work ethic. So it's easy for them to get 100 pounds overweight. You're telling me you can't do something that's easy for someone else to do? I want to look at what they're eating. They're eating calorically dense foods. That's why. Okay. Average fat person has no problem eating 5,000 calories a day. Easy. Takes no work at all. They're not eating chicken and brown rice. I mean, if you're eating chicken and cantaloupe all day, okay, it might be difficult. Like I said, it'd be about impossible. Right? It's not hard to eat enough food to gain weight. It just isn't. So if you're not getting enough nutrition, it's a conscious choice you're making to not eat enough. Or you're not resting or sleeping enough. Well, that's a choice too. You're sitting there watching electronic devices late at night, or you're one of the people like, oh, I've got to have a television on. I have to have this playing in the room for me to sleep. No, you need to turn all that crap off. You're making a conscious choice to destroy your sleep quality. Okay? You're not serious about your actual results, or you wouldn't be doing stupid shit like exposing yourself to television and your phone and everything at night, and you'd go to bed at a decent hour. No, you're not actually trying. Let's come over to the point. What do I mean? What is training hard? Okay, let's say you have no concept of programming and you just come in and train your ass off. You don't think you're going to stimulate growth? You're going to have bad fatigue management. You're going to have risk of overuse. You're not going to struggle to make gains. What do I mean training hard? Coming in and doing 10 really heavy sets of squats. You just came in and you knocked out 10 heavy ass sets of squats. Maybe 5 rep sets or something. As heavy as you could handle for 5 reps in good form. And you take those to where by like set 9 and 10 you're just hitting failure. Like you're hitting like rep 4. Just getting stapled. Okay. When's the last time you got stapled by a squat and kept training? You never have. Well, then don't talk about you train hard. You don't. That's a bullshit cop-out excuse. You're not training hard. Guys, you're scared to fail a deadlift rep. Okay. Seriously, you're scared to fail a deadlift rep? You're not training hard. So I can tell you right now, let's say someone has no clue of how to program and they come in and they do 10 sets of squat once a week, 10 sets of bench once a week, 10 sets of deadlifts, like 3s or 5s every week, and then maybe they do a bunch of pull-ups and rows and stuff thrown in, and then do some arms. No concept of how to program. You don't think if that person pushes themselves hard, they're not going to make gains, at least for the first couple years? They're going to make tremendous gains. They're going to have muscle imbalances. They're going to be at risk of getting hurt. But until they get hurt, they're going to make gains. Unless they're not eating enough or they're not sleeping enough. And we see people do it who have no clue how to train and they still get pretty jacked. They still get pretty strong just coming in and just training hard. So people need to step back and be honest with themselves. Are you really training hard? How much actual work are you doing? Training hard doesn't mean you come in and you run 5-3-1 and you skip the supplemental work. Okay. Training hard doesn't mean you come in and do strong lifts and only do 3 exercises on their progression and then you just quit for the day. Well, that's not really training that hard. Maybe because it's got heavy squats in it every day, I guess. Again, plenty of guys get jacked and strong with no clue how to train. So why do we need good programming? Good programming is not a magic secret. Good programming is not going to take you from making 0 gains to making amazing gains if you're putting in the same level of work. You'll see some slightly better improvement. Like good programming will take you through a stall. Like let's say your squat is stuck at 405. Good programming will take you from being stalled at 405 for a year straight, up to 440, 450, right? That's what it'll do. And you'll probably hurt less. Okay, that's what good programming does. And that's a point that needs to be made clear. If you're not making gains, you are either being lazy as hell in the gym, or you're not eating enough food, or you're not sleeping enough. That's it. That is the only possible explanation. Unless you're, again, a very advanced lifter who's stalled out. Okay, I get that. You guys have only been training a couple years, and you're still not big, reasonably big. It's lack of work ethic, and it's because you've bought into certain programs that maybe tell you it's okay to be lazy. There are plenty of them out there. I see them for sale. I know other YouTubers who promote them. That's the issue. Alright guys, well that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.